Look at today is finding factors of numbers. We use factors to help us in fractions, to help find missing numbers, and it's really kind of simple. We're going to take the number 12 for example. And we're going to break it down into its factors. And to do this, I need to test divisibility for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to divide 12 by each one of these numbers. Okay, so 12 divided by 1, if I use my calculator, and I go 12 divided by 1, it's going to give me 12. Now, there is no decimal. Numbers after the decimal are bad. As long as it's a whole number, then it's a factor. So one of the factors of 12 is 1. Is one of the factors where you are finding factors. In this case of 12. And one of them is 1. So now I take my calculator again and I take 12 and I divide by 2. Well, that's a whole number. So one of the factors is 2. I separate my factors by a comma. 1, 2. Pull up my calculator again. Try 3. So now I go 12 divided by 3. That's a whole number. There is no decimal. So one of the factors separate is 3. Now I try 4. 12 divided by 4. That works, and it's 3. So 4 was a factor. Try another number. Keep going all the way till you hit 10 for right now. Whoops. That's not what I meant to click on. 12 divided by 5. See what happens this time. Go away. 12 divided by 5. 2.4. There's a whole number 2, but see that decimal? And the number 4, that tells me that it's not a full whole number. So 5 will not be a factor. So I can come over here and I can cross out 5. 5 is not a factor. But I should still test for 6 and so on. So 12 divided by 6 is a full number 2. No decimal point. No nothing after. So 6 is a factor. Let's try 7. Oh boy. See that big whole number, or the whole number of 1 and that big whole decimal? That's not going to work. That's a bad number. Decimals are bad, okay, for factoring. So 7's not going to be a factor. Let's try 8. 12 divided by 8. That's 1.5. Still not a whole number. There's a decimal. So 6 and 7 aren't going to be factors. How about 8? 12 divided by 8 is 1.5. Still not a whole number. It has a decimal along with it. So this is a no-go. How about 12 divided by 9? 1.33333333. Decimals, not a factor. And let's try 10. No, 1.2. So the only thing I have to do to complete this is remember the fact that 12 is also a factor. So at the end, I'll put the number that I started with, 1 and 12. So what that means is 1 times 12 is 12, 2 times 6 is 12, and 3 times 4 is 12. This is called a factor rainbow. And it helps us show that through multiplication, these are the only numbers that I can multiply together to get 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. These are the only numbers that I can use, and they're called factors. One word that I want you to remember for today is, what is a factor? Factors are numbers used in multiplication. Today's problems are going to ask you, they're going to give you a number, and it's going to ask you to list all the factors. For right now, I want you to make a list of 1 through 10, and I want you to test the divisibility for each one of these numbers. 12 divided by 1, divided by 2, 3, 4, so on. And record if the number works. Remember, you start with 1. Every number is always divisible by 1, and every number is always divisible by itself. That's why 1 and 12 are factors. So you're going to have some sample problems today to try, and I want some feedback on how this video went.